Hello and welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitpack modding Minecraft server. I just had to log on and start recording. It is not my usual time for playing on the server, but I had an idea, I had a eureka moment, and we are going to do a little something that I hope will aid the server, as whenever I play online here it really starts to have some hiccups, and I've always believed it's because of this storage system. I've seen this thing go on the fritz, and often when I'm using my storage it lags, and it could be due to all these external storage modules that we have over here. Maybe they don't interact too well with other blocks from other mods. So I started to think, well, we set up those disk drives down below, but we never put them to use. And I wonder if I can afford a storage drive. Well, it turns out, and here's that lag that I've been talking about. There you go, I clicked like a few seconds. I don't know if you can hear me clicking. Anyway, where is it? 64K storage disk. That'll store 64,000 items. I'd like to craft one of those, and when I saw all of the things that went into it, I thought we probably don't have the materials to do that, right? But it turns out that we do. It's actually not that expensive for us because we farmed so much stuff. So over here you can see that it's working away on creating all of the different things, which is cool. And I've already made 2 of them today, and we're going to put them into the system down below. So look at this, the ones we've already put in are full up already, so it's a good sign that we need some more storage. Let's put you in there, and you are going to go up there. Remember, for looks and aesthetics, we're going to put them in random slots. I know it's a little bit disorganised, but we've got plenty of space overall there, because there are loads of those disk drive holders. So now that we've done that, we've got much more storage, and I just did a little count, because you can right click on here and see how much of the storage is being used, and we've got just about 110,000 items in all of these chests. So what we can do now is grab some importers, and I believe I need to make some more of those, so let's have a look. There we go, and then craft some more. That should do for now. Whoops, I always have a habit of doing that. I click start and I think we're done, and I press escape, but no, we've got to do that as well. So the idea for doing this came from all of the exporting that we've been doing recently. Eventually I sort of thought, well, rather than plug these items straight into the storage spaces down below, what if we just remove them from the entire system and put them back in again? And with the disks, we've got all the storage space we need to do that, right? So we're moving them to a new home is how we should look at this. These ones don't actually have a lot of items in, so let's move forward by 1 and 2. Then we'll put in our 3 importers. Now what's cool about this is anything like cobblestone that we've set up down the bottom that has its own proper storage, it's going to go there instead of to the disk drive, so everything's going to end up going to the right place, you see? And also there's some speed upgrades here and stack upgrades. Couldn't I take those and put them in here? Yes, I can. That is a pretty cool sight, just wanted to say. I've been watching all of the items get sucked out of these storage blocks. I even forget what they're called. Modular storage. Yeah, they're the first ones that we looked at when we played the pack. So there it is. Everything is now stored on disks, and this one right here is almost full. However, it hasn't even started on this one yet, so you can see that it picks one, puts in items, fills it up, and then moves on to the next one. And I said 110,000 items, so around half of those are actually just going into this system over here, because we had stacks upon stacks of rotted flesh and other things like that. So hopefully our problems will go away. I've got a feeling they won't, but that's definitely going to be better than what we were doing before. So server performance and stability is kind of the thing we're all focusing on as a group at the moment. And because of that, you'll see these things cropping up. They are online detectors. They will emit redstone signal when a player is online. You can type the player's name in here. And so now this thing is only activated when I'm online, which makes a lot of sense, right? So if we want to see this thing not activated, we've got to log off. No, okay, I admit it, that was a terrible joke. If I log off, we won't be able to check, but Iskal was on here the other day and I logged off and he confirmed that it's working properly and it doesn't emit redstone when I'm not online. So we are going to be working on potions again today. I don't think it'll take us too long to finish this project up now, but we'll discuss that later on. I want to address this thing over here at the moment because it's just kind of like an ugly open hole, and I think what we should do is turn this off for a little bit. Whoa, we've got to watch out for those creepers, and decorate the thing. And here it is. It's not a marvel, it's not something fantastic, it's a very just simple frame around our farm. And the first thing that I did when I built this is I went up to it because there was a creeper caught inside of those blocks. And the creeper blew up, and I had to recraft all of that stuff. I had to get the soul vials again. But it's all good now. We've got an online detector there, so it only works when I'm online, trying to reduce the strain on the server. And looking down into it, you can see there's a very simple pattern here. We have glowstone in the corners, so it's nice and bright at night, and then these two blocks in the center. So very simple stuff. It looks cool though. I do like it. And if we head over here, I've got something interesting to share with you, because this gal's been over here helping me out with this project. The forestry bottler doesn't do vanilla bottles. I'm not sure particularly what it's for, but you can't fill up bottles with water on this thing. We were trying to do it, it wasn't possible, so Iskal showed me a different way, and it uses this reservoir right here, which if I break and put down again, it loses its water. But what you do is you put a water bucket into it, and it can treat it like it's a water source. So if you have another tank like here and then a third one, and you put a water source there, it will do like it does in vanilla and create a third one in the middle. So because of that, this is basically an infinite water source, and we can use a ender fluid conduit to extract that water and put it into the tank at the top, the fluid tank, and then this thing we can configure to fill up the bottles. And apparently I've just taken some water out of it, so thank you very much. But if we automatically put bottles into this, then we can automatically take them out as well. And look at that, it's filling them up. So I got a few more like blocks and wires to place here, but that problem has been solved. Alright, so this little thing over here is doing its thing. I've kind of explained this all once before, so we don't really need to go over it again. I just like that it looks nice and compact. And speaking of looks, we need to start work on the aesthetics in this area, I do believe. But coming over to this one, this was a little bit more tricky to set up. So we are, and again, I've explained this before, haven't I? But we're exporting nether quartz into these chests. I've put all of this here so that we don't have, you know, a crazy amount of items in there. Same thing for the water bottles. For some reason, the sticks that I put in there had disappeared. And over here, we've done the same thing with blaze powder. Now, the reason that they're in separate chests is because I bet you somehow it'll find a way to put the wrong items in, and you'll end up with a full chest and none of the item that you need in there. So those two are now separate, and they get exported down the bottom here. It sounds like these things are still doing a lot of brewing. And, aha, maybe the redstone here doesn't work. I realise that's because I haven't actually configured this yet. I need to tell each of these stands to active without signal. Oh, isn't that what they're on? Hi, we're waiting for the server, I believe. Look at that. Clicking, clicking, there it goes. A little bit of delay. Right, so it's almost like that redstone isn't actually talking to those item conduits. Well, it turns out the redstone paste doesn't power the block below it, so it's like a weak signal. So now that those have been powered, these things have stopped, which is all great. So that's how our awkward potions are made, and now we can send them over to this setup, which is going to be even more complicated to get going. That'll take a while, so yeah, we're going to focus on aesthetics in this area for the next bit. It's time for a face-to-face, because you need to know something about your friend Asuma here when he's making these videos. They could take a lot more time than you'd think. Not a lot has been done, right? Oh, you've been playing for 10 minutes. I have been playing for over an hour, and it has been a little bit horrendous dealing with the server lag. Placing down blocks and then having them pop off a few seconds later. Things are pretty ropey at the moment, so the series is going to be affected by that. We're trying to fix things, but anyway, this is the floor, you know, a group of chiseled blocks. This is all sandstone between these gold blocks right here, and I know what you're thinking, this is a little bit too bright, and that's because I actually wanted to use some different blocks from the gold ones. There is electrum, this one right here looks really great, and then there's also bronze. That one is copper, and I haven't really farmed those materials yet, so we're not going to use them in a build. So later on, what I might come do is rip these out and replace them with something else. But that's the floor, that's what I always wanted. I feel like this is like a little, you know, highlight for separating the different areas inside of the factory. And now what we've got to focus on is the factory walls. And I like this shape right here. I think our factory is going to be really tall. So we have these main support pillars, and then we have like brackets between each of them. Now I've put brown in there, and we're going to stick to our palette of sandstone, brown and Midori, but I'm thinking actually this is probably the optimal place. So that looks pretty cool. I actually think the brown kind of looked nicer there, but we do want to include the green. I have gone off it a little bit. I do feel like our build palette is kind of limited. If we put the brown in here, it looks pretty good as well. But what I think would look best is having a little bit of depth there. Now if I put in these walls, they look kind of cool, but this is the wrong colour, I think. The green doesn't look good there, but the shape looks great. I like the way that you can sort of peek into the farm a little bit. So I'm thinking I'll try and find some walls or some fences that will do the same thing, but are brown, because you can't make fences out of this brownstone, unfortunately. And I imagine some of you are probably thinking chisel and bits. I've got to say it, chisel and bits is kind of crazy to work with. But maybe it's not a terrible idea. We could even customize this shape a little bit. Close examination of the block reveals all of its secrets. Yeah, you can kind of like look at the shape and then just figure it out. This is like a nice and simple thing to do with chisel and bits. And Ren has been explaining to me how it is we can then copy these blocks, which is something I've struggled to do before. Now that to me looks like 2 pixels. So if we go from there to there, aha, we have made ourselves the wall block. Yes. That's like perfect. Excellent. Okay, so now we've got to figure out how we're going to copy this thing. Oh my goodness me, I've seen this. You press Alt and it brings up a little menu. You can do that on this as well. I wish I'd have known about that a long time ago, because I sit here and I scroll through these things. Look at that. You can see it at the bottom there changing. What we got to do is right click on this with our new positive chisel design, which we can replace, or sorry, like reset by putting it into there if it's already got a design. So we right click on the block, and then we need to go into this thing. I think placement would be the one, but I'm going to guess it won't let us place it because we need... No, it did. It let us place it. Do I have some bits? Oh, of course, I've just chiseled some. So is it going to let us do that again? No. Right, so we've now got to chisel these blocks with our chisel first of all. That's good. That is really, really good. Now we can step back and look at it. How is that looking? Pretty fantastic, right? I really do like that. By the way, we've also built that between some sandstone bricks that have been put together in this shape. Over here, though, we're using regular sandstone, and I think we're going to have to stick to our build palette, but what I want to do is build this all up first a little bit, and then sort of take a look at it and decide if we want to go with that texture or with this texture. But everything's so far looking great. The Midori, awesome. I think maybe we should put some glass in front of it. But this wall right here looks fantastic. And for lighting, I've put in these blaze lamps, which they kind of look like they would suit going on the walls in the inside. They look like industrial lamps. So we could put them here and then have like a complementing block above and below to hold it into place. I think on the ground it looks a little bit silly. Okay, it's good. It's really good. This is a go. We're not going to use the smoother texture. But one thing I am thinking is up the top here, I feel like this needs to actually extend up just a little bit higher. Now that might be by 1 block, and there's our building blocks popping back again, like that, or maybe a fair bit higher, because somewhere around here we're going to have to start the roof. And I don't know if I want to do a flat roof or a sloped one, and since we've already done some flat roofs, I think sloped is probably in order, but we'll see how it comes together. So that one being 2 blocks higher, I think the higher it goes, the better, really. Or maybe we could even try and get some sort of thing in here where, like, this one's 1 block higher, then 2, then 3, and then it goes back down again. Let's count this across. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in total. So if we were to do that, we'd have 2 the same at the middle. And we'll also end up needing an entrance somewhere here as well. Anyway, I've done a fair bit of progress here with the design. I think now it's time to grind the rest of building it, because there's a lot of this to be put in place. Well, I wanted to build like a larger amount, but I can't help but get distracted. And I've done a load of preparation, like putting in some of the base blocks around the outside here. And then it sort of occurred to me that we need some variation. We can't have the same thing going all the way around. But over here is going to be the entrance. You'll walk through this bit here. I think I'd like the entrance to be big and tall, so there won't be any of this at the top or bottom. But then I started looking at the shape of this thing and how the ceiling was going to come together, and I think what we'll do is we'll slope these blocks across like that. But then when you look at it from down below, you see how this is 2 wide and then that's 3 wide. Kind of looks a little bit odd, so I'm thinking what we're actually going to do is push all of this up by 1, just by 1 block, and then have it so that this like starts a block higher, so there's only a small little slope to work with. Something like that. I don't know. We'll see how it looks. Do you know what? Catching a glimpse of it from over here makes me think, have a look around, see it from different angles. It's cool, it's good, but it's going to need something bigger going across the middle. So I think it would be wise to mirror this, put it on the other side, and to change this bit here, there needs to be like a new structure that pops out at this point. So I'm going to put down these blocks to remind myself later on, because I've got to log off after doing this clip. Yep, these episodes are recorded, sometimes all in one day, sometimes over several days. Another thing that needs to be done is to make a wall section for the corner. That should be a cool little challenge. And then this is how it's looking up the top. I've gone kind of flat again, which wasn't what I was planning on doing, but actually looks pretty good. Do you know, if we do have something like this, maybe this could be in a shape where then it creates this, and then that can be the slope part of our roof going across from one side to the other. But doing this made me realise something. This comes together pretty well, but those are all over by one block further, and there isn't actually any reason for me to stop at any particular point when doing that, so we're going to knock this all back by one block. So things are looking pretty cool on the inside. It is far from complete though. We'll need to work on tweaking the walls and the ceiling, but it's definitely looking decent, and from the outside as well it looks pretty spectacular. But the same thing goes again, you know, we're not just going to settle for this. We're going to come back and tweak some things around the outside later on. Right now though, I would like to finish the ceiling, and I've got an idea for a spontaneous project as I've been crafting up the materials to build this, and I'm thinking, why am I crafting this stuff? We should be automating it. So we've already created a machine that generates infinite amounts of sand. If you're wondering why I'm teleporting about, the lag is just horrendous this morning. I'm the only person online. I've reset the server and it doesn't seem to fix it. But anyway, we're not going to bother ourselves with that. So I've been coming over here and I've been turning our infinite source of sand, which isn't hooked into the system yet, into sandstone. And then with that, what I've been doing is crafting it into the polished sandstone. And with that, I've been crafting it into our sandstone bricks. All of that should be automated. That should be really simple. And it all comes from something that we're generating out of nothing, basically, right? So we should head over to our base and set up the automation for that. So we already have something importing sand into the system, but I had to up the amount. It was 1,000, so now I'm going to set it to 10,000. And it's a little bit on the slow side. If we have a look over here, and I hold down shift, you can see it's going up one block at a time. Now what's funny, I was literally looking at this and thinking, oh, we can put like an Ender IO conduit here, we can have one of those to the side of it, and then I thought, you know, are we going to put it into an Ender chest or should we use an importer? And that's exactly what's already next to this thing. So it is importing the sand, and I just picked out these things to upgrade the speed of it. That's the wrong thing, of course. We need the upgrades for refined storage. Okay, all of these should be set up now. So we've got 2,000 on all three of them because we're making sandstone, smooth sandstone, and then sandstone bricks. Man, the server is like seriously laggy today. I don't know what's up with it. Aha, I forgot something. We need to trigger the auto crafting as well. Right, so if we go into this thing now and type sand, we should see, yep, all the numbers are changing. This is being imported kind of slow in comparison to how much it's crafting, so yeah. But there you go, it's now automatically making all of that stuff. So I think I'm going to up the limit of sand in the system to 106,000, since that's what seems to be the limit of these things when they're upgraded the way that we have, which is with a void upgrade. So you can see that's got 106, and then I noticed the sticks had slightly more, so I'm guessing that some items have made their way into the disk drives, which could be a thing since they were there before we set up all of this. But the idea is, in case you didn't know, that when we reach that maximum number, this void upgrade is then going to destroy the other ones, and these have priorities. So any sticks coming in from a farm would then just get destroyed, because we're never going to need more than 100,000, right? Okay, next project. We've got to make a corner piece for all of these, and I think this might be quite simple because we can use the connected plane. We should be able to bring this across into our block. Yep, look at that. There it goes. Hi, excellent. And then, can we use it to remove? Well, that was super easy. Okay, I need to make another one of these though, so that we can copy that design and fill it in on the corners. So we've made good progress on the factory for now. I want to let this sit for a while before I work on it some more, but I do have some ideas. The roof, I think, needs to have some brown thrown on it. And also, I think we need like steam vents and pipes and a couple of things to just break up the repetition that's going on up here. And who knows how it'll all come together, but if you've got any suggestions, ideas, leave a comment down below as always. And let's just pop down into here and have a look around. You can see I put the blaze lamps on the wall. They look really cool there actually, but the walls still need some more work. And it's just something for another day, I guess. So what I really wanted to do this episode was get the brewing going. And so what I think we'll have time for is to just do maybe one or two different potions. So I'm going to set this thing up and then I can hopefully explain to you how it is we're going to brew potions with this system. So the original idea was to run our potions through an individual brewing stand for each part of the brewing process. So this one, let's say, would be an aqua potion that we put blaze powder in and we turn it into strength. Then the next one could be to add glowstone or redstone to it, and then if it needed more ingredients, there's a third step. Now that's actually kind of finicky to set up. A lot of these Ender IO conduits, a lot of item filters to configure, and then a lot of brewing stands that are going to get used. And as I was trying to refine the idea a little bit, I ended up realizing that this is just the simplest way of doing brewing possible. So if we hook everything up to our refined storage system, then we don't really need to worry about where the items are because we can just pull them in and out of the system. So we can export the ingredients that we need to be put into the top. So that could be blaze powder to make a strength potion. From the side, we tell the system to grab both blaze powder and aqua potions. No, sorry. Yeah, it would be blaze powder because that's what goes in this slot. Right. And we've sort of done that over here, but we've done it an extra complicated way because we put them into chests, their own individual containers, and then they've got to go through filters as well, right? Like these ones. So what we should have done is just put the, well, that was silly, put the exporters going straight into the system here. And another thing that's crossed my mind is that we don't have to chain them like this because once we've made our first tier strength potion, that can go back into the system and then we can call it out in the next one. So this one could be asking for, instead of aqua potions with this exporter, it could be asking for strength level 1 and then the ingredient is redstone to make it level 2, right? So all we need is an array of potion stands like this, and then we open up these interfaces to configure them, and everything is just super simple. Can you see the lag there? You know, when I'm recording, I might moan about it, but when it comes to opening interfaces and waiting for the server, like, you might not notice that I right click and then it takes a while for something to open. Anyway, I hope that explanation made sense. It should be pretty simple and straightforward now to put together. Well, this has taken a lot longer to put together than you'd expect. It's so finicky, all of the placing and configuring that you've got to do, and we've sort of hit like a point here where it stopped working and I don't know why. So let's have a look at these one by one. This one is making our strength potions, and then at the back here we've got a detector to turn this off so it will stop giving it items once it reaches a certain amount. And again, waiting for the server. Can you see? Oh, maybe I'm not actually clicking on it. Aha, there we go. So I decided to hook it up to this one, like this one is affected by redstone because then it's affected by 3 items at a time, right? So it's going to have 3 potions of strength, then let's say we've got all the ones that we need, the importer will take them out of the bottom like that, and then no more will go into the system. In fact, it kind of looks like it's being bottlenecked by this one at the moment, which makes sense because that one is feeding these 2, and then these 2 are going to feed the next 2. So this one does redstone, the next one does glowstone. Hello, waiting for server. And then these 2 are going to be gunpowder, but they're not coming into the system. I don't know why. You can see here we've got a strength potion for 8 and a strength potion which has been done with glowstone, strength 2 even, and this is where they're being made, but once they go into the system that way they don't seem to get called out again, which makes me think they might not be detectable or something odd is going on here, and I'm kind of worried that it won't work with these either, because if it doesn't work with these it will continuously brew those forever and then we'd end up with a stupid amount of items in the system. So what we're going to do right now is turn those off. What would be the best way of doing that? Probably just to turn off the importers at the bottom, right? Make these run on a redstone signal and then they'll stop doing their thing. I love the sound of potions brewing in this area as well. You can hear them going off all the time, and that'll get even worse as we expand this. So I want to knock it on its head for now and see what you guys think of the project, because that took a long time, and that's just for one set of potions, and I'm thinking maybe the idea needs revising a little bit further. It needs to be even easier to construct, because we're going to need a lot of space to put a lot of these setups in, and that's why I've put like a little staircase going down here to remind me that we'll probably end up building a basement. So I could picture us digging out like a really big area, and then on the walls of the basement down below going all the way around, so we could have loads and loads of these brewers set up, which will probably then mean that we need to increase the size of this one because this one is constantly doing its work. Let's have a look into the system. I want to type sand so we can see how that's doing. Right, so we've crafted 2k of both of those. Now it's making 2k sandstone, and then the sand will go back to normal. It's jumping around like that because it's importing it and then crafting it straight away. We should be able to see that number ticking up slowly. although it's not. The other thing I want to check out is bottles. Yep, let's type in potion so we can see our awkward potions, and now we can see the different strength types in the system. Yeah, it's a real shame that those don't get exported to the other one, you know. And I guess we'll never have to make potions of health because we get those from our witch farm. And there's a potion of health, but health boost 5? Hello. This thing's probably super rare, actually, isn't it? What's this other one? Also health boost. Oh, they were all part of the same stack. Of course they were. Let's just drink it. Let's just do it for the fun of it, alright? I want to see how many more of these I get. Did I not get any extra hearts? Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, because we've got, like, the bonus ones anyway, right? So now they're going to steadily go up, but we don't see absorption hearts. That was kind of a little bit of a waste of that potion, I think. But anyway, that's going to be it from me this episode. Do hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, leave a like on the video. And I've got one little extra clip to show you after I say goodbye. So that's what you'll see in a second. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Oh, I have to record this. Oh, what is going on?
Sorry, man. I teleported you.
That was a bad idea.
Sorry, sorry, man. I thought you were stuck somewhere.
I am. I'm recording this. You'll see it one day. It is the. Oh, it's giving me a headache. I'm gonna have to log off.